Disney films have always been about the good guy Prince Charming conquering evil to save the damsel with true love's kiss, but her hero is just as good as his villain. When it comes to Disney, no villain quite takes the cake like the mistress of evil herself. A fairy of great and powerful magic, she is not a creature to be trifled with. She would have no quarrel with cursing you and your entire future bloodline just to pass the time, but what it is about this that draws us in so deeply? I want to talk with you today with two of the main renditions of the ultimate hot topic mom herself, Maleficent. Starting off, we're going to be looking at the Maleficent from 1959 Sleeping Beauty. This was the first time anyone has ever seen Maleficent. She was indeed created to be the film's antagonist. In this film, she is widely known for her evil within the land. Because of this, she is not invited to the christening of Princess Aurora, which deeply upsets Maleficent. She bluntly says, well, this is embarrassing, and is asked if she is insulted by the Queen. Of course, Maleficent keeps her cool and says no, and to show that there is no ill will, I too shall give Aurora a gift, to which she pulls a literal psych and curses Aurora last minute before disappearing in green flames. Now, of course, we all know how this plays out. Aurora grows to be a beautiful woman as told by Maleficent's gift, but then the curse portion takes effect, and she pricks her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel, cursing her with eternal sleep. However, in this rendition of the series, it is not stated that she can be awoken in any way. Maleficent has no defining traits apart from her charisma, evil ways, and the ability to be salty for not being invited to a child's birthday party. Defining characteristics of Maleficent are her long flowing gown, her horns, which appear to be more of a headdress rather than organic protrusions, and she carries a staff with a companion in the form of a raven named Diablo. She is, of course, has that famous ability to turn into a fire-breathing dragon, but, you know, big deal. Anybody can do that. Now, not much is known about 59's Maleficent character apart from what we have already covered. The film does not give us much in the way of backstory for this character. That is where the 2011 film Maleficent changes that. We are introduced to two children, a boy named Stefan and a fairy girl. Her head downing a beautiful pair of horns and a magnificent set of wings as dark as a moonless sky. The two children, who have obviously come from two different worlds, form a bond. Years go by and friendship quickly turns into love. Stefan gives Maleficent the gift of true love's kiss. On which day? Her 16th birthday. How interesting. Further, going into the years, Stefan becomes king of the land, while Maleficent, who still to this day thinks of Stefan, lives out her days as protector of the moors and its fairy inhabitants. However, due to her growing power over the land, Stefan decides that he wants to do something about this. He reunites Maleficent after years of being apart and uses his charm to win his way back into the fairy's graces and her heart, giving her a sleeping aid posed as a simple drink and cutting off her wings while she sleeps in order to cut off her growing power over the land, causing the famous hatred over the king that we know so well. Though the christening plays out remarkably similar to the 1959 film, we are introduced to many reasons why Maleficent curses Aurora in such a way. Becoming a beautiful woman, such as herself, living out her days in bliss, again, much like herself, until her 16th birthday, where she pricks her finger on the spindle and life goes on. However, Maleficent changes the deal up as she enjoys the begging of King Stefan, not to hurt his daughter. You see, the problem didn't arise on the day that Stefan literally clipped Maleficent's wings. They started when Stefan first kissed her, making her feel something that is equally beautiful and scary, which is love. Had Stefan cut her wings off without their history, and he was just a simple human that had wandered into her territory while she slept, it would have angered Maleficent into a war with mankind just as it has before. However, due to the fact that her bond, trust, and heart were broken by the one and only one she ever loved, it fueled this revenge to be something far more dangerous. As they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. No one is angrier than a woman who is rejected in love. Now, this is the part where I'm going to go off script, because as you guys can tell, I can horribly read, and it's quite obvious that I'm reading from a script. This is where things start to kind of take a major turn from the original idea of the animated series and the whole story in general. Originally, she curses her, and then things go on where both good side and bad side kind of figure out a way how this fight is going to begin. However, in the live action film, this is where she kind of starts making appearances to Aurora as a toddler, or as a baby, and, really wants to hate her. This is the love child of her biggest enemy, who was once her, deepest lover. and now all of a sudden this, he has produced this offspring which she is supposed to hate, but eventually starts to fall in love with. It becomes like a second daughter to her. In fact, in the second film, Mistress of Evil, or Darkness, Mistress of Evil? I think it's Mistress of Evil. She ends up actually adopting Aurora as her own daughter, because we know how Maleficent ends at the end of the film with Stephane's death. There's quite a few differences, like I said. Instead of her having a companion raven named Diablo, she instead has, I don't want to say a servant, but more of a, we'll say companion, in the way of a shape-shifting human. They don't really say he's anything other than human, but he can shapeshift. A man named Diablo, I don't know. Which is kind of, I like how there's a little bit similar to, Diablo and then Diaval. It is kind of similar, but he can only really transform, it seems, when she tells him what he can transform into. He does indeed transform into the Raven, which we are known. And actually, he's in the scene with her when she shows up at the christening. We also have him being able to transform into a horse, believe a wolf, and then, of course, instead of the famous dragon transformation that we know from Maleficent, she instead has him turn into a dragon to help protect her and himself while they're being attacked by Stephane's men. So, I do really enjoy having this sort of relationship between Maleficent and her companion, because you actually get to see where this bond is formed. It's interesting. But when you compare the two films, really, of course the live action films are going to go much deeper into a story than what the original animated one told. Of course, that is why we get these remakes, is because we want to know more about the story. In some cases, I'm one, and my fiance we are probably a very rare mindset where we actually deeply love, or I would say I deeply love, this particular story, because it was a very good telling. It was a good cast. It was good characters, but it definitely told us more, and it gave us a lot of really good reasons why Maleficent did what she did. She is definitely, she is not evil. She is hurt, and what better way to create a character than through the amount of pain? It's something that everybody experiences. I myself have experienced this sort of pain. Everybody has this heartbreak, and as that quote is that I said, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, like that. There is nothing scarier than a woman who is angry, especially one who has been betrayed while she's in love. That you better run. No amount of mileage or weapon is going to protect you from this, let alone a woman with wings and a pet dragon. This is that part where it's kind of hard to pinpoint, which is the better Maleficent. Yes, one has a better story or backstory, while the other one is just pure evil. And sometimes she's just too cool. I mean, of course, I've probably got footage of Kingdom Hearts in the background, because it's easier to use Kingdom Hearts footage of Maleficent than it is animated to avoid copyright issues. But you have these different things. Yes, again, the Angelina version is going to have a much deeper story and a much bigger meaning and outcome versus the animated one, where she's only in it for so long, and at the very end she turns into a fire-breathing dragon and then gets angry, and she dies very, very quickly to a sword to the chest by Prince Philip. But what can really define the better Maleficent? Which one is better? I'm not going to put like a head-to-head death match of which Maleficent would win. I mean, both of them, obviously. It's at this point, I really am rambling on, and at this point, I've kind of just given you guys a kind of a description of, a quick synopsis of both films and comparing them and where their differences are. So while one is a much more gothic and dark and I would emotional sort of a film, I would say that obviously the darker version would be the animated one, because there is no backstory to Maleficent. There is no rhyme or reason why she does what she does, other than the fact that she's insulted that she wasn't included. There's got to be more to it than that. I wish there would have been more involved in that film to give. Obviously it's 1959, so it's a little bit too late to go back with regrets, but it would have been nice to have a little bit more of a backstory to Maleficent and why she is the way she is, apart from the fact that, yes, she is green and has horns and can turn into a fire-breathing reptile. So maybe she's done a lot of pillaging and burning of villages over the time. Who knows? Maybe they didn't have her favorite type of bread in the market, so she took out her anger in the best way she knew. Well, and then of course looking at the current Maleficent that we have, which rumor has it apparently we may be getting a third film based on my research. I don't know if this is true or not. I kind of hope it isn't true because the last one ended off in a good way. Just leave it the way it is. However, I will go ahead and say that I honestly prefer the original Maleficent than I do to the more live action version. It's just, she's mysterious. Sometimes it's best to leave your viewers or your readers in the dark and wonder why she is the way she is. You get to put in exactly what I just did. You get to make your own story. You get to make your own reasoning as to why Maleficent is who she is, what formed her to be this way. And then when you have the live action film, it can indeed take that sense of magic away from it, because now there is no mystery. Now there is no, while you're sitting in the theater, you're going, oh, so that's why it happened that way. That makes a lot of sense. That is what the live action films are going to do, and that is going to finish and help fill in the blanks. Instead of making it a gray area, we're now making it a much more black and white sort of a film. So anyway, I have rambled on long enough. I want to know what you guys think. Do you all think that which Maleficent, I'm not trying to think, do you think she's bad? No. Which Maleficent do you prefer, and why? Like I say, I prefer the original because she's a lot more mysterious. There's more mystery to her than what... We don't know much about her other than the fact that she's just a very mystical fairy sorceress who is extremely powerful. And honestly, for some reason, I get the vibe that she's a lot more powerful than the live action version. You know, she does have her magic and everything, but I don't know. She's held back by her emotions while the animated one is not. Yeah, there's been some very rare moments in other franchises like Kingdom Hearts where she shows an ounce that she cares to protect somebody else, but it's later on that it's just so that she can deal the final blow to the main characters herself. So let me know what you guys think below. This is a story or a topic I've been wanting to cover, and been very excited to cover it. So of course, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of different opinions, whether that's agreeing with me, disagreeing with me, or even just saying that this was a pointless video. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think below. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys want to see more videos like this and more Disney Dreamlight Valley and just other content Disney related, of course subscribe. And if you guys would like to leave a like, just so that I know you guys appreciate more videos like this. So yeah, if you guys have the time, go ahead and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Ah, there you are. I see you made it to the end of the video. We quite enjoyed having you with us. Please remember to possess the subscription button. We are dying to see you again. Oh, and don't forget to bring your death certificate.